Welcome to our first ever Catch Up on the Couch with Maddie, Stace and Prim. She may not be in every episode, but we thought we'd introduce her, seeing as she's our brand new baby. And the reason that we're having a Catch Up on the Couch is because we want to introduce you to our podcast, or essentially give you a recap of some of the things that we've talked about in some of our favourite podcasts.
Probably the podcast that we talk about most, especially at our workshops and nutrition workshops, is with Michael Breus, Dr. Michael Breus, and he's the sleep doctor from America.
That's episode 40, and if you do want to find our podcast, you can go to iTunes to download them or have a look at our Facebook or Instagram page or even our website so that you can find those episodes.
So the biggest thing about Dr. Michael's podcast is the fact that he gives us a whole heap of life hacks, or sleep hacks more specifically.
One of the biggest things that I took away from that podcast is that most people have a sleep cycle length of about 90 minutes. And so that was kind of revolutionary for us because we were trying to take 8 hours of sleep a night. And what that means is we're actually not getting a multiple of 90 minutes. So you're actually looking for either 6 hours, 7.5 hours, or 9 hours, or if you can, 10.5 hours, so that you can get a multiple of an hour and a half.
So realistically, 8 is a myth. 8 hours is a myth. So
if you wake up after, absolutely, if you wake up after 8 hours, you're more likely to feel groggy because you're being woken up in the middle of a REM cycle. So you want to go through that full sleep cycle to allow you to feel amazing when you wake up the next day. And so if you miss the 7.5 hour window, for me, sometimes if I'm up at 4 a.m. and I miss getting into bed at 8:30, because who can actually get to bed at 8:30 these days, then I will actually try and get to sleep for about 10 o'clock so that I can get my 4 sleep cycles in that night.
Yeah. I guess progressing from there, he talked a lot about your sleep hygiene. So what you do before bed is really important. And it's not necessarily that everything that has to be collected. So you don't necessarily have to have a dark room, no screens, none this. But he's like, if you can collect the best things what work for you, then it's going to be necessary, I guess, for your sleep hygiene.
So one of the things that we did is we bought blackout curtains for the room. You can pick them up from Kmart, where we are in Australia, for about $15 per curtain. So we've got 2 windows in our room, and so we got 4 curtains for $60, blacked out every night. Best sleep ever.
Yeah, and we just put little either blue tack or tape over any little light, like laser lights or things like that are around the room. So for instance, on the speakers or things like that, there might be a little bit of extra light, and we just kind of blacked out the whole room. That was really cool. The other thing is he talks about medicating around sleep or just different sleep hacks. So one was a banana tea. So we've also got a video on that on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out.
Yeah, natural remedies. So a chamomile tea would also be great, and maybe a less work than a banana tea, but the banana tea was very beneficial. We tested it out and we enjoyed that.
Yeah, guys. So the last thing is, I guess, bedtime routine. So how you actually hop into bed. So yes, it's important to black out the room and things like that. But the actual ritual before bed, if you're working right up until when you have to go to sleep, your mind's obviously going to be going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, when you're looking at screens.
Everything like that. So he does recommend a few different things and pretty much gives his sleep routine, his bedtime routine, and his best options for that.
So check out episode 40 of our podcast, the Chief Life Podcast with Dr. Michael Breus, and let us know how you get on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.